This is a follow-up video to one I made last year about growing fireweed from seed. So I started with this. These are some leftover seeds that I collected last year, and they still have the puffy fluff on them. And I'll just open the bag up to show you what they look like. And I planted them and they grew quite well. I had way too many that I could actually plant, and so I started them in some sterile soil and then transferred them over to these soil blocks. They are a little bit red, and I think that's due to the alkaline content in my well water. So I'm trying to figure that out, and I have been treating the well water with some vinegar to counteract that. But I still might have some deficiencies to work with. But they started off quite well anyways, and so there was nothing wrong with the seed from what I know, or the way they were grown. But they did come up, and I stratified them for about 3 months in the refrigerator. So I put them in some perlite, moistened it, and then just left them in the refrigerator for 3 months. And then come spring, spread the perlite over some, I think it was just some regular potting soil, or you can do it in sand, though either way it works. And then transplanted them. One thing I would do differently next time I try this, is instead of transplanting them, so when they were about let's see, when they were about, I don't know, this big, I would pull them up from their original, so I'd have like hundreds of them growing in one of these trays, and then I would just pull them out and put them in a soil block. But they didn't like transplanting too much. They still survived for the most part, but you could tell they didn't like it. So I would probably next time, since there's no issue with the amount of seed that you can collect, as you can see, it's really easy to collect just thousands and thousands of these seeds. So getting enough of them isn't a big deal, and I find that if you can get enough of them, it's better in that scenario just to plant them straight into the soil block. So I would plant about 3 of them, and this is something I've done with other plants. I should have done them with fireweed, is plant 3 of them like in the middle, 1, 2, 3, and 2 or 3 of those plants would come up, and then I would just snip off the ones that weren't as vigorous, or weren't as centered or whatever, or weren't doing as well, and then I would just let one grow, and then I don't have to worry about disturbing the root system or transplanting, or plucking them out and sorting through them and then transplanting them. The disadvantage of that, though, is, as you can see, soil blocks or little pots or whatever take up a lot of space, and so if you don't have a lot of space or a lot of time, at first you just want to get the plants germinated, then go with planting a whole bunch of them, like 100 of them in one of these trays of sand or something similar, and then just letting them germinate. But if you have the space, and if it's something like this plant, for example, that doesn't like to be transplanted, then the better thing to do would be just to make your tray of soil blocks or potted soil or cells or whatever, and just plant directly in those, and then snip off the excess seedlings, and always plant more than you need, because not all of them will germinate. So if you are going to go direct seed them in your pots, plant more than you need and snip off the remainder. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is for now about fireweed. Um, and yeah, just leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.